From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production, the NFL Bet Exchange, hosted by my man, Pop Dibiase, the primetime capper, and the Don of Cape Cod, Jeff Dawson.
It is time for the NFL Bet Exchange. I am your host, the one and only Pop Dibiase, the primetime capper. And as you guys can see, this is not a background. This is actually Las Vegas sitting right behind me. I'm here at the Caesars Palace and everything right now, trying to get you guys these great bets. And to the left of me,
Jeff Dawson, CEO, founder of East Coast Sports Investors, the Don of Cape Cod.
And all right, Jeff, it's week 11 now, right? And man, boy, oh boy, another week last week. Jeff came up. Jeff was right there at hitting 500. We'll say that he pretty much hit 500. If we were going into the playoffs or something like that, he would have owned the tiebreaker. He went 6-7-1 last week. I broke even 7-7 last week, and pretty much it is what it is. Once again, it's winners were presented to you guys. There were different angles that you guys weren't going to be on until you watched the show. So you know what? To me, that's another winning week. As long as we can say that we're 500, it's all good. But let's go ahead and jump into this Thursday night football game. It is going to be a NFC West battle. This is going to be a good one. You have Seattle coming in as the home team, losers of their last 3 out of 4 games, but never have lost at home this season. So, pretty much they had the road show, and the road show did not go as planned, Jeff. And it is what it is at the end of the day. But as I keep telling people, it's okay to lose games at this point of the season in November, because then you get to know exactly who you are. You get to know how to adjust your flaws and move forward from there. The bad teams are going to stay bad. The good teams are going to adjust. The Cardinals coming in here feeling good about themselves. Winners of their last 6 out of 7 games. They're 6-3 right now. They actually are a team that goes under a lot as well, too, in games. The defense is much better than it looks on paper. We know that they had a miracle finish last week as well, too. I think that took a lot out of them. And anyway, it didn't matter how they won that game or if they would have lost that game. I had my mind set on Seattle the moment they lost the game to the Cardinals on Sunday Night Football. Give me the Seahawks, and I'm going to drop it down to 2.5 as well, too. So if you see this by Thursday, make sure you go ahead and buy down to the 2.5. Or just pay up for the money line. But I'm buying down to the 2.5 right now.
Pops, I got to agree with you 100%. If you would have asked Arizona before the season started if they'd be 6-3 coming into Seattle on Thursday night, playing for first place with the Rams sitting right there as well, all bets would be that Kyler Murray and company would definitely have signed up for this. Seattle, who some had anointed as a few weeks ago as the beast of the NFC, was going to walk right into the Super Bowl and challenge whoever comes out of the AFC. The numbers here, again, I'm with you. You're at a flat 3 like last night on Monday night, 3.5. We at ECSI hate that. We'd hate to invest 3-4 hours into a game and then end in a push. We're always looking for that advantage or edge to take it down to half or to gain the half. We're strictly right behind you as well. Suggest you take it down from the 3 to the 2.5. And even in a game like this, we're not ones that will release these to our VIP clients, but the -170 money line, you're taking all the points off the board. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. If it's too rich for your blood, just invest your normal investment. You'll profit a little less, but your risk is the same as that you're normally going to do here. So strongly suggest maybe risking your normal investment on the Seahawks money line. Just win, baby. We think Russell and company will get the W on Thursday.
And buyer beware. That's why I'm saying get it early, because the thing is, we'll get down to kickoff and they go up to a 5. And we know how things are, and that's because they're going to be asking for that AZ action big time come Thursday, because I know that we're going to get the early money on Seattle. So let's move forward, and we have ourselves one divisional game this week. Well, we have a few divisional games, but the other one is a showcase game, so we'll have that later on in the show. But we have an NFC South battle, and this one is intriguing, Jeff. Very intriguing. You got the best team when it comes to being an underdog when it goes against the spread right now, and that's the Falcons. A lot of people don't want to say that part, but I have it in my notes. They have covered 5 out of their I think they've covered 5 out of their 8 games this season, or 5 out of 9. regardless, though, they have a winning record on that side. They have a losing record, though, and they have a losing record for the season. But all in all, though, this is going to be a tough game for New Orleans because now they have to adjust with life without Drew Brees. And now you got Jameis Winston, and it's pretty much now going to be like how the old Tampa games go. It's going to be crapshoots. It's going to be just like downstairs, dude. Shooting craps, and hopefully you don't snake eyes with Jameis. I think there's going to be a lot of nerves in this game because there's going to be a lot of switching off with the quarterback. I'm not saying Atlanta wins, but I'm going to say this, though. Atlanta will probably wind up on my dog pick 4 come Sunday. But right now, I'm going to take the insurance, and I'm going to take the plus 4.5. I think Atlanta is a strong bet. They're going to hit their groove here in the second half of the season, and I promise you, they might not make the playoffs, but they will have a winning record here in the second half of the season. I promise you that. This team is on the up and up. Regardless of what people think, they are on the up and up. The defense just has to tighten up just a little bit. And, I take the plus 4.5. I'll take the points.
It opened at 5.5. I'm currently seeing 5 around the Vegas strip pops. There is some reverse line movement, and sharps also hit the Falcons both in the spread and the money line early. The difference between last year when they brought in Teddy Bridgewater, who went 4-0, Teddy was perfect because he didn't make mistakes. He didn't take a lot of shots downfield. Now you got Jameis, who technically is playing for a contract here. He came in as a backup, and we know Sean Payton's love affair for Taysom Hill. I'm with you also on this one. I like the 5 with the Falcons, and I wouldn't be afraid to sprinkle in a little plus 195, a little beer and pizza money on the Falcons as well. I think, as you said, Falcons last year, a little second half run. I think they're going to get a run together. If they can win the turnover battle and score touchdowns in the red zones instead of field goals, could put a lot more pressure on Jameis. And also Sean Payton, how much he does that flip-flop. In my head, I think it would be about a 65-35 split. But if Jameis throws a couple picks early, I think you could see a Taysom Hill all second half or more. But I'm on with you with the plus 5 and sprinkle a little plus 195 for some beer and pizza money on the Falcons.
I like it. All right, so we move on, and we have ourselves some good conference games. We start off in the AFC as usual. And the first game up on the list is going to be this. It's going to be the Titans and the Ravens. And you know what? The Titans, to me, are regressing right now. But they hit this rough patch last year in November as well, too, when they were making their transition from Mariota to Tannehill. Now, Tannehill, to me, has been figured out, Jeff, to be honest with you. And that's what's happening now is that guys know exactly how to go about this thing. They're doubling A.J. Brown a bit more. They're trying to make him beat them with other players. And, Derrick Henry's always going to do Derrick Henry things. But at the end of the day, they know that they have to have a good passing game to make sure that Derrick Henry can really go ahead and roll the way that he rolls. But I think that for them to win this game, they're going to have to really jump all on his back in this one. And, they're going to have to make this a fist fight like they did last year in the playoffs. Or they're going to be just sitting up in here and they're going to be dealing with the woes. Because I'm telling you like this, Baltimore comes out like a madman after a loss. And last week after that loss that I felt was coming because nobody wanted to take the Patriots seriously after the Jets game. And I knew it was coming because Cam Newton had to prove a big point. He wasn't proving a point against the Jets. He had to prove a point against the Ravens. The Jets was a lock it in win. If they would have lost the game, he would have lost his job probably. Now he cemented his job by going ahead and helping beat the Ravens and everything like that. The Ravens took that, and they took that with a grain of salt. They're going to come into this game this week, and they're going to be very focused. And if they get ahead early, lights out. And they got ahead early last week, but it wasn't enough. That 7 wasn't enough for last week. 3, whatever it was that they got early in the game, because they were going against a team that was very focused on trying to beat them. Now, when they come into this one, they're going to be at home. They don't have a crowd, but it's okay. They're going to be into this one, and they're going to be rocking and rolling, and they're going to figure out a way to win this game. I'm taking the Ravens with the 6.5 because you know what? The Titans just have burnt up way too much money, losers of their last 4 out of 5 games. It's just right now cooled the Jets with the Titans a bit, and they're going to have to work their way back into my good graces at this point, Jeff. So I'm going Texans right now, minus 6.5.
Tough game. Ravens, again, we've talked since day one here. the resume, how to beat them. And the Tennessee Titans showed us last year in the playoffs. And we've talked about it. You get ahead of them early and then make the Ravens have to throw the ball. And granted, the weather was a big factor in the second half of that game in Foxborough. It was funny. That line would not get off of 7, stayed at 7 till about an hour before kickoff. Then you saw that move to 6.5. Some of the sharps that came in and grabbed the Pats there, and even a little plus 234, 250 on that money line. Here again, it's the season for both teams, I think. Added little chip on the shoulder. Ravens coming off a loss. This is the team that put them out of the playoffs last year. For us, it's all or nothing. We'll push all in here on the Ravens. We'll buy the hook, take it down to 6, and we will add them to the DNP list if they don't win convincingly here. So Ravens -6 by the hook from ECSI here.
And the only thing that scares me with the Ravens is this. A lot of people don't know this, but the Ravens are not great against the spread this season. They're not. It's not like last year where it's like cut the lights out, it's over. No, they've given up a lot of back end points as well too. So hopefully they get out on them early, and then we don't have to worry about too much. But this is going to be a good game. Do not sleep on the Titans. So either this is a gut check game for them as well. So it is what it is. They don't want to drop down to what, 6 and they would be 6-5, correct?
Who's that? The Ravens?
The Titans. No, they're 6-3 actually. I'm so sorry. They actually losers of their last 3 out of 4. I'm very sorry about that. Let me correct that fact. But it feels like they're going to be losers of their last 4 out of 5 going into this one. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, we move forward, and we got the Texans and the Patriots. Texans coming into this game 2-7 on the season. The Pats are 4-5, winners of 2 in a row as of late. You know, the Pats, after dropping 4 in a row was, Jeff, they have came back, and I'm telling you like this, the NFC East is turning into a race at Aqueduct. Because I've seen races at Aqueduct where you get the front runner and he's leading. And here we go. Here comes Miami. They're catching up with the pace a little bit. But there's this team that needs something to run at, and that's the Patriots. We all know the closer. The Patriots are still the closer here, Jeff. A lot of people have to understand that part. Now they've realized who they were. They've admitted who they are. Now they have the mantra, it's Pats versus everybody. It's Cam. We're gonna take Cam as our motivation right now. Cam is our motivation to get our get back and get our respect back in some ways. And he has performed. He's been a great leader over the last few weeks, and it's hard to bet against the Patriots right now when Cam gets to grooving like this. And I know he's not passing the ball that great. I know it's all mainly run game, but at the end of the day, though, you have to respect it, in my opinion, Jeff. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Patriots this week again. The Patriots are one of the worst passing teams in the league, but you have to understand the running game is starting to pick up, and it's picking up very well. Damon Williams, and everybody sleeps on this guy. Burkhead is a monster, man. Regardless, Burkhead he doesn't have to be fancy like Dalvin Cook and Henry and all these guys. He's a guy, he's old school. That's like a John Riggins type back. You bring him in there rugged. He's going to take some hits, but he's going to deliver some hits as well, too. I expect a heavy run game against the Texans this week, and I feel like the Patriots do shorten the clock. Now, the only edge that they do have is that Romeo Cannell and Bill Belichick, they both know each other very well, so it's going to be a chess match. So regardless of anything, though, I really do feel like the Patriots roll in this one because, honestly, the Texans, I feel like, have already thrown in the towel for the season. Last week was a great example of that because they were trying to find things and it just wasn't working. And that's when when you got to keep trying to find things, that means that you know your season's over. You're just trying to figure things out for, who's going to be around for next year. So at the end of the day, give me the Pats, and I'm going to take the Pats here with the -2. I don't need to have a money line here, Jeff. I'll take the -2. They should win by 3 or better.
As you know, I'm a fickler on the opening lines, and I feel that Vegas opens up numbers knowing which side. They know the percentage of how much money is going to come in on the Pats, how much is going to come in the Texans. So they open up that number to make sure that it kind of evens off, and they try to get that back and forth action. Intrigues me that Houston opened up 2.5 here. And now the Patriots, of course, shoot right to 2. I mean, here the Texans struggled in Cleveland, and then here the Pats are winning in a monsoon against the Ravens. And again, the Pats kind of brought us in a couple times this year, and when you jump back on board, they've kind of got slapped around and they fall back 2 steps. So tough game for me here. They have owned the Texans, whether it was O'Brien, Romeo, whatever it is. It's a game that Bill has dominated, and it's a game that you expect, like you said, the momentum's building. And they're kind of giving you a carrot. I mean, the Pats -2, -130 on the money line. Smells a little fishy to me, Pops. It does here. So for all the listeners here, I'm just going to throw a soft little lob here. We're going to take a swing with the Texans +115 in the money line. Maybe they can steal one. They're going to have to slow down Damian Harris and Burkhead, like you said. Maybe Watson can get off the schneid here. Not a lot of faith in either team right now. I know the Pats are starting to move in the right direction. We'll take the cheese, and we'll take the Texans plus the 115 money line here.
And there it is. All right, so we will be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, more conference games for you guys on tap.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange. The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
Dawson here, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Welcome you to the website. You're this close. Why not finish the deal and join our team? We're offering 2 great back to the basics and VIP packages for the rest of 2020. You can come on board to our own very own app and bet work, we call it, for as low as 99 cents a day, $29.99 a month, or for the rest of 2020 for just $90. That's a savings of $30 and 1 free month. Or join our VIP membership, which gets you direct emails and texts to your cell phone on a daily basis. Our breakdowns, our do's and don'ts, why we are releasing this game, and what to be expected for those games and the upcoming future. So come on board, click the link, or follow us at EC Sports Invest on the Twitter. We will follow you back and answer any questions there, or also send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Look forward to joining our team and seeing you soon at the Winner's Circle.
All right, we are back with the NFL Bet Exchange, and we find ourselves now heading over to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville has been, you know what? Jacksonville is a team that you know that they probably will not win the game, but most likely what they will do is they will wind up going ahead and covering the game. Last week, they gave the Packers hell, and we knew it was coming, Jeff. I knew it was coming because this was the biggest overbet other than the Rams and the Seahawks game. Unbelievable. The Seahawks got 90% of the spread in that game, Jeff. And that was just absolutely you. As soon as I saw 90%, I said loser. There it is. It's a loser. So
That line opened at 1, went straight to 3, and I'm laughing all the way to the bank. I'm like, that one smells so bad. I'm like, if you're not taking the Rams money line, Rams versus the spread, I'm like, I'm sorry. Russell's that magnet. He's they see him, and it's like, you're giving me Russell and points.
right, right. So pretty much in an undefeated team at home in a brand new stadium. So yeah, but let me stay on topic. No Gardner Minshew, but Luton is playing heady football. He refuses to lose. And you know what? When you look at this Jaguars team, they're going to be good. In a few years, they're going to be really good. You know what I mean? If they keep the core pieces in place, they'll be a great NFL story. You know what I mean? But for now, they are an NFL pushover. So what I'm doing here is the Steelers are a machine right now. It doesn't matter who they step up against. It doesn't matter if they get down in the game or anything of that nature. The Steelers are going to play you 60 minutes in full. Each quarter, each play, they there. And this is the type of game where they can go ahead and work some things out real quick and work out some new plays. And I think what happens here is I will usually take the Jaguars in the spot, but I don't trust the Jaguars covering 3 games in a row. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 9.5 on the Steelers. I know it's a 10, but you can go ahead and buy down. I'm telling you to buy down right now and jump on that 9.5. But I think you could possibly get it to 8.5 by the time we get to Sunday, because other people are going to be, the Jags been covering all season. Let me jump all over this because they don't see this coming. Nah, the Steelers know what's up, and they know that they've already overlooked the team a few weeks back, and it almost came back to bite them. This week, that ain't happening. So there it is. Give me the Steelers minus 9.5.
It's going to be a big public game. It opened at 9.5, went right to 10. We're looking at 61% of the bets, 70% of the money, all on the Steelers. Line moving in the correct direction. Did see a little reverse line movement on the money line, where the Jags opened up at plus 384, currently at plus 351, and that's only with about 9% of the money. So the sharps grabbed a little quick little nugget on the Jags, just because everyone's expecting the Steelers to lay that egg sooner or later. Go back to the Dallas game when they just came out flat. And the difference this year with the Steelers is Ben's semi-healthy. He's banged up, but he's healthy. But the emergence of the wide receivers, it's Juju, it's Deontay Johnson, it's Claypool. They still haven't gave a full dose of Connors. And of course, he's got his tight ends there. And I think right now, I know we're in week 11, but it's almost setting up like a Big Ben versus Mahomes showdown, which would be a great game. Currently Steelers with the home field advantage, but we're weeks ahead of that. I will tread lightly here. I'll grab the Steelers minus the 9 in the hook. Hopefully they don't overlook this game. And secondly, I think the Jags put forth such a big effort last week hanging around in the Packers that I think if the Steelers come here focused and motivated, they should get rid of them pretty early.
Man, that's what I'm saying. The Steelers know that they can't mess around because the tape don't lie. And the Jaguars are very thirsty to get a win, because if they slip up, they could lose. That's the whole thing. This is the point in the year where a 1-8 team, oh my goodness, comes out of nowhere and beats an undefeated team. I've seen it happen on 2-3 occasions, actually, Jeff. We all remember Cincinnati. Remember Cincinnati? That's what got Marvin Lewis a decade there. Bad team, beat the best team in the league, 10-year job. All right, so we move on, and we have ourselves a very intriguing matchup here. This is going to be the Dolphins and the Broncos. Dolphins coming in here, winners of 5 in a row. Then you got the Broncos, losers of their last 2 in a row after, getting a big win over the Chargers late. And then they also had a good win over the Patriots this season as well, too. A lot of people didn't see that coming. But now everybody knows, okay, you can't just not take the Broncos seriously. But they have a very iffy quarterback. I've already said this, and now the chirpings are coming out that lock ain't a lock. And, now Denver's thinking about the next phase at quarterback, blase. But I think when he plays at Mile High, he plays with a different energy. And if they're able to get the grooving and get the scoring early and things of that nature, they're right there in the ball game. And this week, I'm gonna go in this week, Jeff. I'm gonna go ahead and put my chips behind the Broncos. We're gonna skip out on the spread here. Give me that money line. Give me that money line. And you know why? Because this team is gonna be the good news only dog bet of the week. So there it is. I wanted to slip that in there real quick, but this is the good news only dog bet of the week plus 145 Broncos money line. Let's go ahead and catch that ticket.
What'd you have for an opening line on that, Pops, for the spread?
I had 3.5 that came from Westgate.
Yeah, it's a tough game right now with Sports Insight off the board because of the quarterback issue. I'm going to just say this. The sharpest play we thought of the week last week was the Chargers at Miami. All the sharps were pounding it. This was a 2-6 team versus a red hot Dolphin team. A spread that opened at 3, dropped all the way to 1.5, and the Chargers just stupid mistakes early. Anthony Lynn can't leave quicker. Him and Adam Gase, I mean, they're just there, I think, to help the team get a better draft pick. I really do. Now, I've been a Bronco backer. Okay, so I see that angle. I really do. And I don't think the quarterback's the issue there. Whoever starts, just don't make mistakes. You got 2 good backs. You got some young wide receivers. Okay. And you have a strong defense. This Miami team is hot. And they're not just winning at home against the big boys. They traveled to Arizona and won, and they come back home and then they just take care of business of the Chargers. Now we got a little cold weather. Okay. They've been playing in the warmth at home, beating up on the Rams, traveling to Arizona, beating up on Murray, coming back and beating the Chargers. Now you got to go to Mile High. Okay, I'm going to follow that lead, but we'll take the 3.5, and we'll take Broncos hopefully to keep it within 3 or less. But I'm telling you, Flores, Tua and company, they got a machine going right now, so they're tough out.
Right, and you know what? They're playing all phases of football right now in Miami. There's special teams, defense, offense, and Tua is just a very. And you know what? The move was right on the money because I think Coach saw that they were in a groove, and he said to himself that you know what, Tua's playing good enough at practice right now to where we can see if he can be able to make the adjustment because we are not. This was never Ryan Fitzpatrick's team. He was here. He was here to warm them up and then get Tua situated. And now Tua is really pretty much all the way healed from the hip injury, and he's good to go. But that hip injury will always be a factor. I don't care what anybody says. He always has to play cautious. That's why he's playing much smarter than he did when he was in college. And I've caught that as well too. So pretty much we move on and we have a fun one here, man. And this is the Boo-Boo Bowl in a sense. We got the bad beat City Chargers going against the team that used to live in Queens, might need to move back. You know, I think the Jets might need to just play in a parking lot somewhere outside of Aqueduct, somewhere over in Ozone. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's what it's looking like to me. Like, seriously, y'all need to go play over at Cardoza High School or something right now because y'all don't deserve to be in MetLife right now. So, you know, pretty much the Jets, man, I'm telling you. But you know what, though? Jets have covered last 2 out of 3 games. Both were home games as well, too. And you know what? The Jets knew that the Jets, after about week 3 or 4, knew that it was going to be a struggle this season. Even with Sam Darnold, it didn't matter. It was going to be a struggle because their best players wanted out, and they got rid of their best players, Jamal Adams, Le'Veon Bell, the list goes on. So they're in full rebuild mode. That's okay. And I think what happens here is that the Chargers are going to actually get caught slipping, Jeff. I'm not saying that the Chargers lose the game, but I'm saying this, that the Jets are going to come out there and play this one with a lot of heart, with a lot of pride. You can see now that they're playing with pride a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they got a quarterback now that is not going to sit up there and be like, well, let's just go out here and hope we do well. Joe Flacco wants to win the game. You know what I mean? Regardless of if he's limited or not, it's just he wants to win the game. It's that simple. And so pretty much what I'm doing here is I'm going to take the Jets with the plus 8.5 in the spot. I know it's risky business, but you know what? Last time I saw something like this with the Chargers, it wound up being a victory for the Panthers, who came in there the same exact way. A lot of people, they were a winless team at the time too. A lot of people didn't take them seriously because they just don't have anything. But the Chargers love to play patty cake. and that gets them into a lot of trouble. So I'm going to take the Jets with the plus 8.5 because I really think that the Chargers are going to have to run out of SoFi to win this game. They're going to have to do it off on a walk-off field goal or something of that nature, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because it's just getting worse by the week with the Chargers, and it's bad because the games are so close. You know what I mean? So it's a struggle. Bad beat City Chargers, boy, I'm telling you.
You know, I anointed Herbert a few weeks ago. I mean, the kid's got it all. He's got the moxie. He's got the makeup. I was surprised. I thought I'd see him run a little more like he did in Oregon, but he hasn't yet. The problem is simple. It's Anthony. It's the coach. You know, you start the game with a block punt. And then your next possession, you're 3 and out, and then Miami's lining up for a field goal. You jump offside, so instead of 10-0, it's 14-0, and they were down 20-14 with the ball driving. Wide receiver falls down. Herbert gets picked off, and the rest is history. I really want to back this team. I don't know if Bosa will be in or out this week. And you are correct. Good point on the Carolina coming in the same situation. The Jets, you know, put up a good fight against the Pats. The points are kind of intriguing. At ECSI VIP group, the Jets are on our DMP list, but I'll follow your lead here. We'll grab the 9, and we'll hope that Herbert and Anthony Lynn can keep it within 7 or less. You know, I mean, he'll find a way to screw this thing up. So we'll grab the Jets plus the 9 as well here.
Well, he comes from the class of Rex Ryan. That's the Rex Ryan tree. The Rex Ryan tree. Takes you 10 years after you worked with Rex Ryan to get a job, and then you just look like Rex when you out there coaching your team as well, too. All you want to do is have the respect of your players. And this is why we're having a lot of issues with certain coaches being able to get jobs. Yes, they're great as a coordinator, but the thing is, coordinating and head coaching is 2 different things. You go from being the micromanager to being the supervisor. You feel what I'm saying? And then you know that you still got the supervisor over your head as well too. So, you know, it is what it is. But
if I'm the Chargers, and I know this won't happen, I think for a couple reasons, okay? But at the end of the season, I'm calling up Andy Reid, see if I can talk to Bieniemy. I mean, you got your quarterback. He's in the division. He already would know the Chiefs. I don't know if they would allow that, first of all. And I don't know if he would want to leave the situation. Not that Andy Reid just got an extension as well. So his job, he's not taking Andy's spot anytime soon. But if he was hungry and was looking, first thing I would want to do is go to a team with an established quarterback and also already worked in that division. So I know it's early, but I'm just throwing that out there, Pops.
Hey, I feel it, Jeff. I totally do feel it. And man, at the end of the day, I just really think that, you know, they just kept him around because it's a pandemic situation. And, you know, he had a lot of respect for the team. But I think that's pretty much his wavered and has worn off a bit, Jeff. So we move on to the NFC. And the NFC has some really good conference games. It's only 2 of them, but they're intriguing. They're playoff games that really they're going to settle some things here. You know what I mean? Well, meet me at the crossroads. You won't be lonely for both of these teams. And that's the Lions and the Panthers. And this is the game when you walk into the book, you say, and you look up at the board, you say, what the hell am I going to do with this game right here? Who am I going to pick? And then you're going to be like, well, the Lions have been playing good. And then the Panthers been struggling. And the Lions, this is a trick. This is when they trap you with the Lions, Jeff. This is when they trap hard with the Lions. But you know what? With Bridgewater not being 100% going into this one, and it's a 50-50 bad shot of him playing this week, it gives the Lions a little bit of added extra a little bit here in this spot. And I'm going through my group right now, and the Lions are 3-6 against the spread this season. And they're 6-3 when it comes to over/under. So pretty much in this game, that's what it looks like to me. It'd be more about scoreboard watching. But the side I'm going to take in this game, and I just feel like they are doing really good up under the radar. With nobody saying, oh, well, you know, the Lions had a bad beat last week. Nah, the Lions win a game, everybody moves forward. Lions lose a game, everybody just moves forward. The Lions have figured out how to not let the last game affect your next game. And I think what happens here is that they get their 2 wins in a row here as well. They had a very good team win last week against Washington. And I think they translate that into this game against a Panthers team that's going to be without McCaffrey. And you have a game time situation with your quarterback, Bridgewater. And if Bridgewater's not playing quarterback, then this line is going to explode back up to about 4 or 5 points for the Lions. And they would be the favorite here. Right now, they're the slim dog. So I'm going to go ahead and take that slim dog. Get around that track, you Greyhound. There it is, plus 125, Motor City.
You got them plus 25, 125 on the money line?
Yes, sir.
I've been a Lions backer, our August and September shows. I talked about, I was hoping that this would be the year that the Lions would make some headway. And again, typical Lions season where they were right there on a lot of games and just can't find a way to close. And is it Patricia? Is it Stafford? Swift's coming on nicely. They've had the reemergence of Marvin Jones, Hawkinson at tight end, and their defense has been okay. I'm looking for them as well here to get some momentum, to grab a 2 in a row before Turkey Day, because it's coming. Next week is Turkey Day, and Detroit's on at 12:30 every season, and you got to find a way to get Turkey Day and Motown and Stafford on your card. So I'm going to roll with you plus the 125 with the Lions. Hope to get 2 in a row and get ready for Turkey Day and next Thursday.
All right. So what that means is that we got another commercial break. We will be right back with the NFL Bet Exchange.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange. The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
Dawson here, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Welcome you to the website. You're this close. Why not finish the deal and join our team? We're offering 2 great back to the basics and VIP packages for the rest of 2020. You can come on board to our very own app and bet work, we call it, for as low as 99 cents a day, $29.99 a month, or for the rest of 2020 for just $90. And that's a savings of $30 and 1 free month. Or join our VIP membership, which gets you direct emails and texts to your cell phone on a daily basis. Our breakdowns, our do's and don'ts, why we are releasing this game, and what to be expected for those games and the upcoming future. So come on board, click the link, or follow us at EC Sports Invest on the Twitter. We will follow you back and answer any questions there, or also send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Look forward to joining our team and seeing you soon at the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the NFL Bet Exchange, and we are knee deep into this thing. So pretty much here we are, and this is a game that I'm dreading right now because it features. They used to be America's team. I don't know what they are right now, but you know what I mean. They're a team in the NFL that plays on Sundays. That's who they really are right now. They got the red hot Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, the winners of 3 in a row, all divisional games, all divisionals. Jeff, all divisionals, very important. 3-1 in the division now. They score a lot of points in each game, except for the last game they were in against Chicago. You knew that was going to be a war. It was going to be a battle. This game right here, though, I think they're going to take the lid off. This is going to end the Cowboys mentally right here. You know what I mean? It's like that scene in Godfather when they ride dude out to the Poconos or wherever they took him to, way out there by the beach and everything. And pretty much Minnesota's going to be the guy in the back seat. They're going to be testing you for this one, Jeff. And I think what happens here is going to be an absolute bloodbath, to be that honest with you. And I know I'm saying this, and the Cowboys will wind up covering because, we were gung-ho on them the first 5 weeks of the season. And then, they didn't show us anything. And then, we get to the Steelers game, and you just knew that was going to happen the moment the ball got kicked off, that the Steelers were going to figure out the way to have a close game with their old Super Bowl rival. So in this one, Minnesota knows what to do. This Dallas defense is absolutely awful unless they've improved over the last 2 weeks. And I think that Minnesota is going to take full advantage of this bad defense, and they're going to absolutely have a game. It's going to be their highlight tape for the season. Give me the Vikings -7.5. Let's see how it checks out.
This game opened at 9. I'm seeing 7, but juice to the Vikings -119 on the juice. 61% of the bets, 72% of the money, all coming in on Dallas. The public just doesn't matter. It doesn't care. They're going to keep betting these guys till the cows come home. Little reverse line movement though on the money line. You can grab Dallas right now at +281. They opened at +330. My thoughts. First thought is Vikings, what surprised me the most, their defense. They were putting pressure. I know it's the Bears' inept offense, but they had like 1 first down going into the last drive. They showed life. Dalvin Cook had an off day. I mean, Bears did everything to have Cousins beat him, and he did. Jefferson coming on like a champ. Dalen, Rudolph. I mean, it looks like they're rounding into form, and I want to jump on that train. But then you think of the short week, Dallas an extra week to prepare. Dalton should be back, and I'm kind of torn like you two. I'm going to buy. I have a flat 7 here. I'll buy the half point. I'll take the Vikings to that 6.5, 7 number and pray no backdoors. If they play with that kind of intensity that they played last night, they win by double digits with their eyes closed. We'll take a shot with the purple people eaters, Pop.
And there it is. And we move on. Now we are in the interconference games, Jeff. And these are some good games this week. And none of them are potential Super Bowl matches, but there's some really good games on this. And the first one I have here is going to be this one. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cleveland Browns. What was it, the 1950 title game? Browns, first season in the league. They were giving the Philadelphia Eagles on opening night absolute drubbing. That might have been the last time they beat the Eagles in my time. But I wasn't even around for that. But the Eagles haven't lost to the Browns one time since they returned to the NFL in 1999. And that's one thing that is working in their favor as well, too, in this game. That's the only thing working in their favor is the long-time tradition of beating the Browns over the last 21 years. But, you know, they only play them every 4 years. But still, let me get down to the point. The Browns are a different team now. And the Eagles are not out of anything yet. But the Eagles are a team that can afford to lose because they play in a division where the division winner is going to be 7-9 this season. I'm calling it right now. Jeff, they can finish the season 6-9-1 and wind up going to the playoffs this year. The Browns are 6-3. They can wind up going 11-5 and missing out. This is nasty. So pretty much what I'm doing here is I feel like the Browns really found their spark. With Nick Chubb coming back, and they know who they are. We're going to be a running team that eats up the clock, and we're going to rely on this defense. Myles Garrett is playing some of the best football out of anybody in this league this year, and it doesn't get talked about enough. The guy gets a sack each game, very hard to block, and he's the key player for the Browns. And I said that last year when he got suspended because that's what killed the Browns season was Myles Garrett getting suspended. They had a chance, but this year now they got Myles Garrett back healthy and he's not getting into any issues or anything of that nature. I think that he has another great performance with this team come Sunday, Jeff. And pretty much what happens here is that the Browns continue their great run at home as well, too. They lost one game. That was to the Raiders. And that was a must-win situation for the Raiders. That was kind of the Browns couldn't wait to get to the bye week. So now the Browns have their running back, their super duo of running backs. I think that they're going to take over this game. They're going to have a good game, a big game, and the defense is going to be the key to this. The defense is going to make things happen in this game. I just think that Carson Wentz is a pretty decent quarterback, but at the end of the day, Philly just can't beat the better teams in the league right now. It's that simple. So I'm taking the Browns.
And I look at this game and we take a step back last week, Eagles coming off a bye week, lathered up, ready to come in, take control of the NFC East, go into the Giants and just get smashed. Peterson, I think, is 1-4 off of a bye before last week. So now that's 1-5. I think Eagles are at their best when we're kind of consider them dead and buried. I remember them, I think it was last year, doing the same thing when they went into Green Bay and they shocked the Packers. Cleveland holds on and beats the Texans. Weather, big issue, 30-mile-an-hour winds, sloppy track, yada, yada, yada. I think the Eagles sneak up here and they steal one. Not just cover, they steal one. This is a big game, a big spot for them. Yes, Wentz has been a disaster. Miles Sanders is back. The offense between Fulham and some of the wide receivers, Godar's back. Big game, I think, more for the Eagles here. I think they make a statement. I think that they shock America, and we love them at plus the 155 here at ECSI.
And, beating the Browns, it wouldn't be the biggest shot, but I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. Because, a lot of people are thinking just like you. The Browns are too good for themselves right now, so they'll probably blow this one. But I do like the minus 170 on the Browns. I think you have to overpay in this game because it's going to get close. And we'll see how it goes at the end of the night. You know what I mean? This is a good 50-50 split. So let's see how it shakes out. All right, so we have ourselves another, what you would say, kind of garbage game. Well, the people that don't love the NFL as much as we do. Because I don't see any NFL game as a garbage game. I have had some of the worst matchups give me some of my best Sundays in the NFL. So, never say these are garbage games. It's just because records don't mean anything. It's always about the matchup, in my opinion. And this is a good matchup between two teams that are going to be good in a few seasons. That's the Washington football team and the Bengals. And the Washington football team is a 1.5-point favorite from what I had last night at the Westgate. And it's an over-under 46.5, the lowest of the week as well, too. So this is telling us that this game possibly could go under because they feel like defense is going to be at an absolute premium in this one. But with the way that the Washington played last week, a lot of people are going to get excited and say, well, you know what? I trust Alex Smith against the Bengals. I think he can do some things. But Joe Burrow has surprised me a lot, Jeff. I was one of the biggest haters. I was like, well, the guy played one season and he'll come into the NFL and just be Gino Torretta, but a higher pick. No. He's more of a Steve Walsh right now. You know what I mean? He's doing a good job. You know what I mean? And he's still not the cream of the crop, but he's doing a good job. And he's saving that coach's job as well, too, because that coach would have been out if they would have started off the season bad. They haven't been terrible in really any of their games except for two, and that was against the Ravens and the Steelers. That's valid excuse, but everybody else has had to bring their hat, bring their helmet, bring their A game, or you gonna get beat. That's that simple. Ask Tennessee. So pretty much, I like Cincinnati coming into this game. I like them a lot. So I'm gonna take them with the money line in the spot, Jeff, plus 120. Let's see how it shakes out. Hopefully, I'm on the right end of this.
I agree with you. I wasn't the Burrow fan. Hats off. I'm impressed. I think their young wide receivers, T. Higgins, has really started to come on. Mixon being banged up, Geo stepped in. And now you flip the other side, and Alex Smith, us here at ECSI in March, April released Alex Smith at plus 1,600 as the comeback player of the year. He's playing now. It looks like it's his job for the rest of the year. So that could be a nice little ticket for our VIP players. Tough spot. I think it's an absolute coin flip. I too lean where you are right now. I think Joe finds a way to get it done. They were a covering machine early this year. They've had a few bumps here and there. I like for them to bounce back. We'll go with the +2 here with the Bengals. If they do lose, maybe it's just by 1 and we grab the win anyways. I think it'll be a close game. Like you said, the under over 46 and a hook. They're looking for a 24-21 game either which way, and we'll go with Cool Joe ourselves.
And there it is. We move forward. So you're taking Washington. Or are you taking the Bengals?
Bengals +2.
Okay, Bengals +2. All right. Just double checking.
Yep.
All right. So we move forward and we have ourselves the Packers going against the Colts. And we got Rodgers versus Rivers. This one right here is, to me, a game where, a lot of people are going to be like, well, the Colts are playing some good football right now. They should be really good in this game. And one advantage the Colts do have, I'm going to be dead honest here. The Colts are 3-0 against the AFC this year. They've beaten Minnesota, they've beaten Chicago, and they beat Detroit. Now it's the top dog in the Packers. To me, the NFC North is a middling division without the Packers. They got 3 teams that probably won't make the playoffs this year. Minnesota's now, winding up. We'll see how it goes December. But I think Chicago is backing up. This is a horse race, Jeff. And the Packers have been in the front the whole time. They broke well, and they're striding very well. The Bears broke well too, but maybe too aggressively. And now they're falling back. And so how I feel here is that the Packers know that this is a statement game for them. This is a game where they have to step it up and be really, really good here in the spot, in my opinion. And I think what happens here is that the Colts are going to come in with the idea that they're still playing really good football and maybe think that this might be an easier game than it looks on paper. And I think they're going to get bit because of that. And I like the Packers a lot in this game because the Packers score points. It doesn't matter if you got a great defense. They're going to figure out ways to score points. I'm taking the Packers money line plus 125. This is a big, big game for them because this helps them get home field advantage in the playoffs as well, too. So let's see how it shakes out, Joe.
Colts have been a great money train for us here at ECSI. Vegas has been spot on their opening numbers this year. When they've been favored on the road, like you just said, the Bears and the Lions, they went box to wire. They were 2-point dogs to open against the Ravens. The public brought it all the way back to the Colts -1. The Ravens win. Vegas opened up the Packers at -2. And what happens? The public takes the Colts to -3 right now, -155 in the money line. And we're getting some sharp, heavy money coming in on the Colts. So will be discount double check versus the river of dreams, or a lot of people say the river of a lot of lost wagers. And so defense is the key here. I mean, the Colts defense has been great. Packers spotty at best. Is Aaron Jones coming back? Will he be healthy? Devontae Adams has been unstoppable. MVS is starting to catch steam over there. Over open to 49 and a hook, currently 51. All money, all bets coming in on that over. They got this penciled in right now at that 27-24 number. So with this, it's a tough call for us. I can't flipping coins back and forth. We're going to take the points out of play here. We're going to take the Colts minus the 147 in the money line currently. Tough game, toss up. I mean, Rivers got to win the turnover battle. Packers on the road. If you watch Rodgers, he got out to that early lead against the Bucs. Then they put pressure on him, and he just folded. And I think that's what you're going to see with the Colts. Put pressure on, play physical early, hope to get out early, and hope that he just pulls the plug. So Colts minus 147 money line here at ECSI.
And there it is. And there it is. And so with that, we're going to be right back with the NFL Bet Exchange.
Drinkade, ready for distribution worldwide.
Welcome back to the NFL Bet Exchange, and we have entered the fourth quarter of the show. And let's start off with a matchup that's going to be happening in Vegas on Sunday, and that's going to be between the arch rivals themselves, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas / Oakland / Los Angeles Raiders, you know what I mean? The California Vegas Raiders, whatever you want to call them, because pretty much they own 3 cities now. And you know what? That's crazy, because I think they're the only NFL team that can have that right, because, you know, ain't nobody up there. You ain't got no Cardinals fans in Chicago talking about, man, I remember them days with the Cardinals. You know, you have St. Louis Cardinals fans. Damn, you barely got Arizona Cardinal fans. So, hey, it is what it is. But let me get to the point. Chiefs are really good coming into this game. Their only hiccup was the Raider game, because they didn't take the Raiders serious enough that day. Andy Reid thought it was going to be a stomp out. Didn't work out that way, because you know why? John Gruden stayed in that film room and figured out everything he needed to figure out to beat the Chiefs, because they didn't beat the Chiefs by luck. They handed them their ass that day, Jeff. Seriously. They showed that Henry Ruggs is going to be a problem. Waller was a problem in that game as well too. But the defense is much better than they were in that game. Much, much better than they were in that game. They've actually tightened up a lot more. And I think that was the most points scored on the Chiefs this season as well too, the 40, I'm sorry, because they had the 32. But I think they come in here with a more focused game plan, where they're not going to mess around too much with the Raiders and, you know, have too much respect. They're going to come out here and really try to tear the Raiders apart, because they already have a motivation on the bulletin board from what they said, quote unquote, Raiders doing a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium. Of course, it's your rival. They're going to do silly stuff like that. But Andy Reid's just saying this so then there can be some drama to the game as well too. But I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be any drama at all. It's going to be a Mahomes love fest on NBC with Michaels and Collinsworth. And you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm taking the Chiefs minus 6.5 right here.
You know, you're right. Revenge. Andy Reid coming off a bye is like Belichick coming off a bye. He's like unstoppable. Raiders been playing some great ball. I don't want to be on the public side, but I'm looking at the numbers and initially it is all Chiefs. But I think as this gets closer to kickoff, I think you'll see some sprinkling of the locals. Every week it seems like there's a liability on the Raiders for Vegas, and they knew this would happen once they got their own team. I'm going to buy the hook. We're going to take the Chiefs minus the 6 here. Hopefully they win by 7 or more. I just think bounce back, revenge, week off. They come in, they take care of business. They get out early. Maybe Carr has a couple picks, and under overs at 57. I think the Chiefs will put up 30 plus, and I think their defense will keep the Raiders to 20 or under. So we're on the Chiefs here. We think that they win by double digits. We'd like to buy the half and release them minus the 6.
All right, now it's time for da 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 da. This is a good ass Monday Night Football game. I don't care because it's much better than the one they put up last night, because that could have been a 1 o'clock and that could have been a 1 o'clock 10 a.m. start for me, 1 o'clock start for you game yesterday, in my opinion, Jeff. They just did that because it's on the schedule. And you know what? ESPN always tries to have games within the division for these teams as well, too. Same thing with Thursday night as well, too. But we know that pretty much this one right here is a doozy. This is a good one. You got Jared Goff leading the Rams into this one with Sean McVay, who was a part of that. His first stop in the NFL was in Tampa Bay as I guess like a intern for Gruden. So yeah, it's a homecoming for him in a sense. And then you got Tom Brady, Mr. Wonderful, right? But the thing about Mr. Wonderful this season, he hasn't had a consistent run of games either this year. You have one great game, next game is a whatever game. Then another great game, then a dud. That's how Brady's season has went. And I think this one is going to wind up being a dud because Aaron Donald's going to be all over the place, and he's going to try to terrorize Brady in the spot. For them to win this game, they have to go ahead and give Ronald Jones the ball 20 to 25 times this game, or have him and Fournette split it up somehow, some way. They can't depend on Brady to save them in this one because there's going to be a lot of pressure on Brady all game long, in my opinion. And I really do like the Rams in this spot because this is a must-win situation for the Rams. The Bucks, they already had the Bucks still have games in the division and everything like that. They got things to tango with, you know what I mean? But right now, this is a good game for the Rams to get because they got Seattle and Arizona going at it Thursday, and this is an advantage them if they're able to win this game, in my opinion, because that game is going to be a pretty much cut it down the middle. One's going to be 6-4, one's going to be 7-3. But the Rams are going to get a pivotal win against a team that they could possibly play again in the playoffs, in my opinion. So I'm taking the Rams with the money line, Monday Night Football, Jeff, plus 160.
You know, it's funny because when the Saints came into town, they opened that number at 5, and the Sharks pounded it from 5 to 4 to 3, and the money line, and it was box to wire on the Saints. This one they opened at 3, and I think they're hoping the public will then push it to 4 and 5. Both teams will be sitting back. The Rams will be seeing who won between Arizona and Seattle, and meanwhile the Bucks will be sitting back wondering what's happening with the Saints with no Breeze, which I'm hearing 2 to 3 weeks. I'm more in the 4 to 6 camp. You don't have broken ribs and collapsed lung. I mean, I'm not playing doctor here, but it's a tough spot, Pops. And now I don't think you're getting to hear enough of Donald and Ramsey. Ramsey just shut DK down last week, and defenses win championships. And I think you're going to have to break this down to Goff versus Brady. You know, the Bucks brought Fournette here, but they're still relying on Jones, and he had the 98-yard touchdown. God bless him. But he also fumbled the first possession as well, and he's had 2 fumbles in the last 2 weeks. tough game for us right now. I like your angle. I like your thought process, but currently where the number is, we're going to buy the hook. We'll take the Bucks minus the 2.5. But I'm telling you right now, I definitely could see the Rams winning this game.
And there it is for our games for this week. Man, I think we have some really good matchups here, Jeff. Even the ones that are going to be up under the radar. These are going to be good, very good betting games for everybody this week. You got yourself all your Knicks and Packs and all this stuff, and they're not putting these spreads too far apart from each other. Not yet, but we'll see once we get to the weekend. All right, so here goes some fresh off the line. And I didn't know this until I got here, or I probably forgot, but I did not know Caesars did not run their books anymore. They actually have went over and they do business. They've merged with William Hill. So it's crazy walking into the Caesars and seeing William Hill signs, but it is what it is, sign of the times. That's what today is all about. So I went down here and got the lines from William Hill, the updated lines for this week for the Super Bowl. And these are from Vegas. This isn't from your offshore online account or any of that stuff that these people get tickets from. You know what I mean, Jeff, with the pluses, 18-1s right now still on the Seahawks. That's imagination land stuff. But you know what? You guys do what you do. Put out what you put out. It's all good because we got receipts. And, you know, pretty much we just ain't here to bust you out like that. But Super Bowl odds, you got the Chiefs who are 7-2. For all my people who don't understand that, that's actually a plus 450. Pretty much 7-2 is the number that they like to put down there. But, you know, at the track, we know what it is. It's a $9 winner for a $2 ticket. So there it is. So if you guys put 200 on them, you get 900 back. All right. We move on, and we got the Ravens, who are sitting at a beautiful number right now. If you can get out to Vegas before this dwindles down next week, because it's gonna get bet down some more this weekend. But they're sitting at 11-1 right now. They've actually went back up, Jeff, from where they were at before the Patriots game. So they're trying to tell us now that maybe the Ravens, you might want to press the brakes on them a little bit on moving forward to the Super Bowls or anything like that. But the team was 5-2 to start the season off. So things changed. And then you have the Packers, who are 10-1. Packers haven't changed too much from where they were at before. They're pretty much at the same number as well, too, which is a very good number in my opinion. Then you have the Seahawks, who were 9-2 at one point, and they were 18-1 to open up the season. Now they're sitting at 5-1. So that's a good number for you as well, too. You put up your 200, you get back $1,000 on the Seahawks. You know, I'm just throwing out numbers for you guys so you know exactly how much you're making and everything like that. And then you got the Steelers. I know Jeff's going to like this because they're still giving us a really sexy number. 9-2, baby. 9-2, that's a plus 550 right there. So 9-2 on the Steelers right now, that is a steal, in my opinion. To be honest with you, because really nothing's stopping this team from getting to the Super Bowl, but we're going to see when we get to the playoffs. I know I'm saying this, and then watch me be the one when we get to the divisional game. Oh, I'm all in on whoever's playing the Steelers today. All right, so pretty much Saints 12-1. They are going to go down though, as I think that Jameis Winston will probably bounce back his career. He got better weapons and he got a better system to go along with. And if he wants to be silly and call his own plays, Sean Payton has a great seat on the bench for him as well too. So you got to be ready for that part. So don't count out the Saints yet. 12-1. Breeze should be available for the playoffs. That's where everybody's thinking should be, is in the playoffs, is where you'll see Breeze. And then we got the Bucks 5-1. And all you Tommy lovers, all you Tampa Bay lovers, this might be your bet right here. 5-1 right now. They haven't really changed much. They were 8-1 to start the season, but everybody's kind of playing around with it until maybe December. I think December, they're going to get a lot of money coming their way as the season progresses and as we see how much better these teams get and how much some of these teams progress as well too, Jeff. Real quick, what are your thoughts on that?
Defense or quarterback? I guess, you know, we talked earlier in the show about the offense in the AFC and Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I mean, look at those two offensively, look at the quarterbacks, and then you look on the defensive side in the AFC, and you're getting a great price, as you just said, on the Ravens. You want to catch these tickets after a loss, not after a win. And let's travel over to the NFC now. The Saints with no Breeze till God knows when. Seattle stumbled a couple times, and they talked to us. Someone was asking me earlier this week about MVPs, and I says, well, if Murray wins a couple more, look out for Murray in the talks for the MVP. I know he was 40-1 earlier this year. So it's, again, is it quarterback or is it defense? Not many people are talking about this Rams team. If the Rams on Monday night go in and whitewash Brady and them, again, that Donald and Ramsey, I mean, that's the cornerstone of the defense. Can Goff strategically win a game without, losing the turnover battle? There are some good prices out there. Again, try to look at these as teams coming off the loss. If you didn't like the Ravens at 6 or 8-1, well, at 11-1's a hell of a price, and vice versa. So, Seattle at 5-1 is interesting, especially if we like them to win this week as well. So it's a week to week. Back in the old days, Pops, they put them out and then they took them down. Now you can go week to week in window shopping. Like the girls do when they go buy their shoes, we can go and buy futures. That's what we need to do on our side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we are moving steadily, and let's go ahead. I didn't have it last week because I kind of ran out of time with notes, and I kind of was backed up on who I wanted to select for the team. But I got my squad ready for you this week, though, right here on the NFL Bet Exchange, and we are going to do it just like this. We're going to have Matty Ice as our starting quarterback this week. Matt Ryan for the Falcons will be the starting quarterback this week. I think that he's going to have a day against the good old arch rival, the Saints. You guys got to understand, there is no favorite in this game, in my opinion. When you play your arch rival the way that Atlanta and New Orleans is set up, it's anybody's game. Honestly, it is, Jeff, and you know this well too. So pretty much, I do love Matt Ryan in the spot. I think that he's going to make this team work and work some more. Then I love Nick Chubb on the comeback. He's fat. He's still fast. He's still powerful. And I think that he owes all the fans 2 touchdowns for messing up on the touchdown last week. But let me tell you guys something. Don't think that everything always has to do with betting and things of that nature. He was instructed not to score by his coach. So he didn't know he was going to bust out an 80-yard run when he was doing it. And then he realized that he was about to score a touchdown. He didn't have anybody behind him, so he slipped out of bounds. Okay, they would have been up 2 scores. But then you still have to deal with another 45 seconds, which really would be another 5 minutes of a football game. Instead, you go ahead and get in victory formation and take your ass into the locker room. It's that simple. You know what I mean? So don't be too mad about that. They got the win, and that's what's important to them. All right, so I know I'm just saying this because I was smart enough to get the 2.5 early in the week and give it out as well, too. I told you guys what to do, but, y'all money line or – buy down.
That's the same as the Cardinals getting that touchdown to D-Hop and not kicking the extra point. Because if the extra point was blocked and the Bills ran it back, they would have got the 2 points and they would have went to overtime.
Right. That strategy is y'all don't like the strategy, but the machine that popped out the idea, that's the one that gets the final say. So it is what it is. All right. So I got Nick Chubb here, and then I got Rex Burkhead here as well, too. I'm going to move a little bit quicker. Rex Burkhead of the Pats. Yes, Rex Burkhead of the Pats. I expect a touchdown or 2 from him. And then Adam Thielen. I think that he's going to take that hot streak into the next game against Dallas, and he always torches Dallas as well, too. So I expect him to go ahead and kill Dallas once again. Then you got Keenan Allen, most consistent receiver in the league other than Allen Robinson, in my opinion. A D-Hop and all those guys, they make all the big dollars and everything like that and make all the spectacular catches. But you got to have the Allen Robinsons and the Keenan Allens of the world to get your team moving forward when you have middling offenses. And these guys do a damn good job of it. And give me Keenan Allen. He's one of the most underrated players, not just receivers, but one of the most underrated players in the NFL. And you know what? All he does is be consistent and show up. So I'm taking Keenan Allen this week as well, too. And then I have your boy, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers. What a great law firm. But I got Jacoby Myers He played some damn good football last week with Cam. I think they're just going to improve on this as well, too. And, once Cam finds himself a favorite receiver, just like Brady, that's going to become his guy. So I think this is going to be very good for the Pats moving forward, that Jacoby Ford has stepped up and now has became a factor within that receiving corps. So I have him there as well, too. Then we got Noah Fant, top 5 tight ends in the league. I don't care what y'all say. Big hands, can move very well, nimble. And if he's able to get 5 or 6 catches in this game, it should make a difference for the Broncos as well, too, Jeff. And then you have James Conner. You can watch out for Conner. He's telling you, Terminator. You know what I mean? The Terminator's going to come looking for that guy soon, because James Conner is out of this world. You know what I mean? We know his story, but what he's doing in the NFL is just absolutely amazing. The last Steeler that looked like that at the running back position was a guy by the name of Rocky Blair, who came back from a traumatic situation and just performed. You know what I mean? And it's almost, and I know him and Rocky probably talk once a month or something of that nature, because it's damn near similar. And I'm just waiting for him to get the other big running back, and you can have Franco Blair all over again. So there it is. And then the defense, and Jeff tried to help me with the defense. Jeff tried to do his money ball for me, but you know what? I did an Oakland A's job, and I said, I'm just going to go cheap. And Lions, you're up. Lions were the most expensive team on the cheap list. So, and the Lions have a matchup that says, okay, you worth the price of admission. So I'm taking them as well, too. Jeff, real quick, your final thoughts, and what do you think of this team?
I think you got some high upside. Listen, we don't know who's QBing over there in Carolina, so that's a great spot. Patriots, again, which Patriots team shows up? You got some Burkhead there. You got some Myers. I like the diversification. I also think Keenan Allen does have a big week. And the Matty Ice, I mean, both teams know each other inside and out. And I look for big things from him as well. So overall, Pops, I think you got some high upside, and I think you got a good squad there.
There it is. And final thoughts on the week, Jeff, and the show?
It's hard to believe it's already week 11 here, and it's flying. We're halfway through November. We got 6 weeks left, until 2021. This is where the tire hits the ground and the tread here, and you're starting to see the cream rising to the top. The teams that we didn't think were so good are starting to fade back, and the teams that we thought were good are starting to gain some traction. So overall, I think there's some great matchups this week, highlighted, by Kansas City with some revenge heading into Vegas. The Monday night game, good games all around, some fun ones. Even the one you talked about, you got the Bengals at Washington. I think that's going to be a hell of a game. So overall, we're excited here at East Coast Sports. Come follow us on Twitter at EC Sports Invest. Send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com, or just check out our website at www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Blessed here, Pops. Having a blast and looking forward to cashing some tickets.
All right. Well, it is what it is, baby. This is the NFL Bet Exchange, and I am the one and only Pop Dibiase, the primetime capper, and
Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, the Don of Cape Cod,
the Don himself. You already know what it is, baby. All right, man. So we out of here. Vegas, say bye. Toodles.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFL Bet Exchange, where the sharpest bets are laid. This show was produced by the PrimeWave Media Group.